Why did Somalia become a nightmare for the USA? The Untold Story. It began as a humanitarian mission. In the early 1990s, Somalia was on the brink of total collapse. Famine, warlords, and chaos plagued the country after the central government fell in 1991. The world watched as children starved and armed militias took control of food supplies. The United States, as the self-proclaimed guardian of world peace, decided to intervene. But what was meant to be a rescue mission soon spiraled into a nightmare that scarred American military history forever. This is the gripping story of how Somalia became a nightmare for the United States. After decades of dictatorship under Siad Barre, Somalia crumbled into civil war. Clans turned into militias. Warlords ruled over neighborhoods with brutal force. The most powerful among them was Mohammed Farah Aidid, a former general who declared himself president without any national consensus. By 1992, over 300,000 Somalis had died from starvation and violence. International organizations pleaded for help, so the United Nations stepped in with UNOSOMI, a peacekeeping mission, but peacekeeping in a country with no peace was a dangerous illusion. Under President George H.W. Bush, the United States launched Operation Restore Hope in December 1992. The goal: deliver food, stop the famine, protect aid workers. At first, it worked. U.S. Marines arrived on the beaches of Mogadishu like heroes. Food flowed, smiles returned. But beneath the surface, warlords like Aidid were plotting. To them, the foreign troops were not saviors, they were threats. When Bill Clinton became president in 1993, the mission changed. No longer just a humanitarian effort, the US now sought to capture warlords and bring order. That shift would cost lives. The United Nations declared Aidid a target. In response, Aidid turned Mogadishu into a fortress. In June 1993, his militia ambushed and killed 24 Pakistani peacekeepers. It was a turning point. The US decided it was time to go after Aidid directly. By August, Task Force Ranger was deployed, America's elite Delta Force and Army Rangers. Their mission: capture Aidid's top lieutenants. On October 3, 1993, intelligence reported that 2 of Aidid's men were in a safe house. A quick raid was planned. It was supposed to last 30 minutes, but it turned into one of the bloodiest urban battles in modern US history. Just minutes into the mission, things went horribly wrong. Aidid's men were ready, armed with RPGs, AK-47s, and sheer rage. They shot down 2 Black Hawk helicopters. Suddenly, American troops were trapped in the middle of Mogadishu, surrounded by thousands of hostile fighters. The battle raged for 18 hours. Streets turned into war zones. Rangers and Delta operators fought house to house, rooftop to rooftop, against impossible odds. American soldiers were dragged through the streets. The images shocked the world. The US lost 18 soldiers, with over 70 wounded. Hundreds of Somalis also died. The battle became known as Black Hawk Down, immortalized in books and films. But for the US government, it was a national embarrassment. After the battle, President Clinton faced enormous pressure. Just 2 weeks later, he ordered all US forces to withdraw from Somalia. The message was clear: America doesn't fight urban wars it can't win. For the Somali people, it meant the return of chaos. Aidid continued his reign until he died in 1996. Somalia would remain unstable for decades. For the US military, Somalia became a painful lesson. When the Rwandan genocide erupted just months later, America stayed out, perhaps haunted by Mogadishu. The Battle of Mogadishu changed US foreign policy. It made future presidents cautious of ground wars. It became a blueprint for urban warfare training. It inspired tactics later used in Iraq and Afghanistan. But most importantly, it shook the American public's faith in foreign interventions. The nightmare of Somalia wasn't just the loss of life. It was the realization that not every problem in the world could be solved with good intentions and firepower. Somalia wasn't Vietnam. It wasn't Iraq. But for a generation of US soldiers and leaders, it was a turning point. A mission to feed the hungry turned into a battle for survival. A country devastated by famine became the graveyard of American pride. And to this day, Somalia remains a haunting chapter in US history, a story of ambition, chaos, and unintended consequences. That's why Somalia became a nightmare for the USA. Dear friends, I need your support to grow my channel. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.